can't hear you.
See, for me, this story is true.
I mean, I know it's a fake.
There are a lot of holes in this particular story.
HIV cannot be healed by men.
That's correct.
They wanted me to act as if I was positive.
Into what? Eat quickly. Eat quickly. Today, no time. You eat.
They're not any different to some crazy cult.
Look at it!
Jesus is alive!
Look at it! Devil is a liar.
Johannesburg, one of the major contributors to the South African economy. Inundated with the influx of both local and international migrants yearly, it's also the first choice of destination by thousands of job seekers. Just about 15 kilometers away, Africa's richest square mile, Sandton. December 2017. A morning church service is underway at Alleluia Ministries International. Among the hundreds of congregants, Samantha Revesai, the mother of one, has been searching for employment since arriving in the country 6 years ago.
God himself walked in this place.
She's just a visitor with a prayer request.
I really wanted to go and maybe the pastor pray for me so I can get a job. I'm so depressed.
The 27-year-old has been in trouble with her landlord for missing her rental payment.
The member of the church came to me and say, "You want money, right?" And I say, "Yes, I want money because right now things are not fine with me, so I really want money." Then they said, "We want you to come next week." For the first time, they didn't tell me what to do.
She attended the prophetic salt service and she believed God for a healing man of God.
When Revesai honors the invitation, it turns out to be a Sunday of testimonies.
For 3 years, she was HIV positive.
For 3 years?
3 years, man of God.
Tell me what happened.
They gave me a paper. That was 2 of them. The first one was written, I was positive because they already knew my name and my surname. So they went, I don't know where, to the doctor and say I was HIV positive. And the other ones was saying I'm now negative.
3 years is torment.
Revesai does not get to speak for herself though.
She was tormented, Pastor Alf, by that disease. On Monday, she went for a test and she saw the test was negative. But just something said, let me check again on Thursday.
Come on now.
And Pastor, when she went back on Thursday, she got the exact results, HIV negative.
Hey! God is fighting for us.
I was not positive. I've never been positive. They wanted me to act as if I was positive, and then Pastor prayed for me and I get healed so they can attract other people to come to the church. They promised me money.
How much?
They said they were going to give me 1.5 every month.
Is a profoundly painful disintegration of a human being. To use that vulnerability for any kind of religious gain, which is false, I quite frankly think is criminal, And just because it's church doesn't necessarily give it, or church in inverted commas, doesn't necessarily give it credence.
Ever since then, hers has been a life full of regret.
So I don't want them to publish me anymore.
As you can see here on this.
Coming out for the first time.
Yes, here, yeah.
This one.
Did you also recruit her?
Yes, this is me.
And this
As
is
you can see.
the lady that you were.
This man reveals to us he was the mastermind behind the alleged acts.
Bless you. She comes Sunday morning because I tell her that it's not a big deal. I'll just give you a paper, a card written you were positive, now you are negative. So it's easy, you don't talk anything. This Pastor Jackie We'll talk for you.
33-year-old Blessing Kwemelau further reveals his role was to recruit.
Yes.
He claims he trained visitors to stage disability during sermons.
I was going to them and speak to them clearly. Guys, you know what the Nigerian did when they act? We are going to act. When you are acting, we want our things to be as real. So when we say you are crippled, you must act as that.
God healed you of HIV. HIV
4 years.
free.
Ravesai was not his only enlisted actor. There were many others.
5 years.
We were something like 3 to 4 teams which were doing the same job. So for me, they were coming like, Blessing, we need 10 people for wheelchairs, 3 ladies, which will say we were having breast cancer. We want somebody like, she said I was deaf. When the pastor prays for her or for him, he or she will say, I'm now hearing. You see? So I was finding people, telling them, this job is like this, like this, like this.
He says he was given more role play because of his physique.
The time I arrived at the church, I take that person, I lift him or her up as if he is crippled. I put him or her on the wheelchair. I put another one in the basement floor, overflow, inside, at the different corners.
I see there's a name written, Tandeka.
Kwemelau says a chain of communication would be initiated and SMSs would be passed on, giving instructions to actors. He shows us a barrage of text messages he claims are sent to actors during a service in 2017.
I text here whilst we were on the church, because we go with this lady. We say to her, we will tell you your scripture there. So when we arrived there, the lady I was working with, she sent me the message. She said, tell that lady that she was not hearing for 3 years, as you can see. Then I tell her, not hearing for 3 years. Then I see she never replied. I say, come out. She come out of the church and I explained to her that if the pastor prayed for you, if somebody talking to you, don't answer, you're deaf, don't hear. But after she declares, you start screaming, jumping, as you can see here. Scream now and say, I can hear, I can hear. Go in front now. You see.
Kwemelau reveals this was also extended to special services.
And then this other one, she was on the wheelchair. This guy. It was the VIP service. So the theme was like, break the platter and crush the head of the viper. So I tell him here, after breaking the platter, you will shake and stand, because he was on the wheelchair as if he is crippled.
And he was not crippled?
He was not.
Undeterred, Alleluia Ministries International has downplayed the allegations of faking miracles.
For anybody to then allege that the miracles we see, whether it's in the church or on the street, are either staged or people are paid for, I think that's ridiculous. Because then it means we're praying to a wooden God. We're praying to a God who does not manifest his power. We're praying to a God who does not work miracles. And that's not the God we pray to.
But what would happen almost 2 years later has left the whole country and the religious sector in shock. February 24th, 2019. Just another normal church service at the Alleluia Ministries International.
He's Jehovah. Yes, we bless you.
But it doesn't take long before Alf Lugau's sermon is interrupted.
Men of God,
speak to me.
Myself, I went outside. There is a family that is about to take a corpse to Zimbabwe.
Hey,
The man has allegedly been dead for 3 days.
He died in my head.
See the breathing. See this man.
and this is your brother.
Yeah, this is my brother.
Jesus.
Jesus. Yeah.
Jesus.
So where did you keep the body?
The body was on the mortuary.
Jesus.
This body is coming from the mortuary.
Yes.
This man died since Friday.
On close inspection, there are visible signs of life.
Where is the media now?
And what happens next has left tongues wagging.
Elliot. Elliot.
Jesus.
Lift your hands. Lift your hands. Mirakalamasa.
My good God.
Barabarsa tabasa.
To the congregants, an unprecedented scene is unfolding before their eyes.
Rise up.
Never seen before. Never seen before. Church of God.
Maya huza geta tota.
Look what's happening.
I have absolutely no doubt in my mind whatsoever. I will stake my life on the fact that I believe that if that wasn't real, I'm not real.
The church has struggled right from its very inception with, shall we call it, gimmicks.
I think the story is gaining all this momentum because people are desperate for miracles. And of course, the whole Christian story is a story about resurrection. So why can we not have resurrections nowadays? But they're very, 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 very few and far between, if ever, since the resurrection of Jesus. So I think that when we unpack what's happened, the whole thing was staged.
You can almost say, can the country take a joke? It's terrible because there's a lot more of this happening. There's almost a competition of gimmicks. I will do a bigger gimmick than yours. Mine is going to be much more of a pizzazz than the other one.
The issue about people being raised from the dead is something that historically has been captured as true. But it's sad when it gets abused and it becomes staged. In that way, I think it affects people's beliefs in what is authentically God's word, and people end up not being sure even when they see authentic things.
Which manner of God?
But to Alleluia Ministries International congregants, this is a lifetime miracle far from a hoax.
Pastor Alf laid hands on him, prayed on him, and spoke life into him, and he slowly but surely sat up, and they helped him out of the coffin, and he walked into the church. Now, this is very undramatic. That's clearly not how it happened, but yeah, that's long and short of what happened. So a dead man was resurrected.
But days before his alleged resurrection, Elliot missed work. The machine operator would then face a disciplinary hearing.
That week, we found out what he was doing.
And the guys here who are friends with him, because he's from Zimbabwe, told me that he's done a wheelchair stint and he's done a couple of other stints with the same church. And from what I can understand, his wife and his sister and his aunt work with the pastor. And that's how he got in.
No one.
But to others, this is nothing out of the ordinary.
Somehow it just becomes a way of making money. Now you match that, and this Malusi Incorporated promises all kinds of supernatural things through the gimmicks that I display and act up. Then you've got a market, because you're a society that's looking for that kind of thing.
I think we have a lot of commercialism that happens in most religions. I think it's something that all religions have to struggle with. And I personally feel that the way that a religious leader talks about money and manages money is one of the clearest signs of seeing where their heart is at.
I do think that it is shocking to use people's vulnerabilities to whip up emotions, to get people's money, and to do all sorts of things that benefit you. But we have to recognize that the world is full of that kind of thing.
The church has defended itself, insisting it never claimed raising a man from the dead. Ironically, the congregants were still sold to the miracle as true.
He was in a morgue for 2 days.
I stand by every single word that comes out of Pastor Alf's mouth.